YouTube, this video is going to be on the newest structure deck that just came out, Origins of Galaxy, aka Galaxy Eyes and Photon Eyes. I don't even know if that's an actual thing. But the structure deck is quite decent, at least in terms of not having to craft too many cards. These are all the cards included in one copy. You could buy one copy and you could try to play with one copy. I don't recommend it. I recommend buying 3 copies. Each one is 500 gems each. For 3 copies, total deck is going to cost 1,500 gems. But this doesn't just include 3 copies of Origin of Galaxy. In fact, I'm running 1 copy of Rage of Cipher in later builds. All of this will be in the timestamps down below. Check out which version you want to use. But this is another structure deck I recommend buying only 1 copy of, just because the cards in the extra deck are Galaxy Eye, and they work very well in the other deck. If you bought 3 copies of the structure deck and you just want to play budget, or maybe you're newer to this style of deck, I'm going to be going over every single card, but first let me just give my thoughts. This deck has a really strong main deck. Strong main deck meaning it has pretty much all of the key component pieces that you want, which are called starters. Starters in Yu-Gi-Oh! Relatively give you cards to your hand. Galaxy Wizard, when it tributes itself onto field, you can add a Galaxy card from your deck to your hand. Photon Orbital equips itself like kind of as a spell card to a monster. You need a monster on the field that you can equip this to in order to get the search effect, which is you send it to the graveyard and you add a Photon or Galaxy monster from your deck to your hand. Another one is Photon Jumper. When sent to the graveyard, you add a Photon or Galaxy spell or trap. And the final starter or searcher is Galaxy Soldier. You discard a light in your hand, special summon this. When this card is just special summoned in general, add a Galaxy monster from your deck to your hand. Besides that, the spell and trap lineup is mainly just comprised of cards where you just stop your opponent from playing. That's the main point of Yu-Gi-Oh! In general. You want to establish your board, you want to bring out your big monsters, such as I don't know, Galaxy Prime Photon Dragon, or Full Armor Photon Dragon. These all come in a structure deck with 0 crafts. And you want to stop your opponent from playing the game, because if your opponent's able to play the game the way they want to, they're most likely going to establish a board or have some monsters that can stop you from playing the game. That's why I'm running the card Draco Utopian Aura. It comes in a structure deck, it negates a monster effect on the field and destroys it. It also has another effect where you can take control of the opponent's monster if you banish a card in your hand. I usually just use this just to negate and destroy a monster. The other form of removal is Hyper Galaxy. This card, you tribute a monster that you control with 2,000 or more attack, and then you can tribute a monster your opponent controls with 2,000 or more attack, and then you special summon a Photon Dragon from your deck. And then the final form of disruption is Photon Stream of Destruction. It's just targeted removal. If you control Galaxy Eyes monster, which there are quite a few, there's the Photon Dragon, you also have the Afterglow, which special summons if you control Galaxy Eyes monster, or you have the Link monster, which you can easily bring out in this deck using Photon Sanctuary, which just brings out 2 tokens. These 2 tokens can act as material for the Link. And this spell card just says, hey, target a card on field, banish it. Besides that, you have cards that get your engine going a little bit more, like Galaxy 100. This spell card is useful because it sends a Photon or Galaxy card from your deck to the graveyard. Now, the reason you would want to send a card from your deck to the graveyard is because there are cards in the deck, such as Photon Jumper. When it's sent to the graveyard, you can add a Photon or Galaxy spell or trap. There's also another card, which is only a 1 of, which is Photon Emperor. When it's sent to the graveyard and you have another Photon or Galaxy on your field or in your graveyard, special summon this card out. And when it's special summoned or normal summoned, you can normal summon again. So you get 2 normal summons, get a bunch of monsters on the field. You're able to flood the board and establish that whatever threat or power that you have. And besides that, for just 1-ofs, there's Numbers Last Hope. It's just kind of like target 2 monsters in your graveyard, special summon it, make an XYZ. The downside is that you can only special summon once for the rest of the turn, which means that if you special summon, let's say, Galaxy Eyes Prime Photon, you can only go into another special summon once. So Full Armor, and then that's it, or whatever else you want. Galaxy Trance is really useful in combination with Photon Jumper, because when Photon Jumper is sent to the graveyard, you can add a spell or trap. You can add Galaxy Trance, which can target that exact Photon Jumper in your graveyard, special summon it back, special summon Wizard, and then you can go into an XYZ. I actually really like this card a lot. It comes up it comes up quite a bit. It's very good. The final spell is Galaxy Expedition. If you control level 5 or higher Photon or Galaxy, you can special summon one of the higher levels from your deck. There are quite a few targets, my favorite ones being Galaxy Eyes Afterglow Dragon, because when it's detached, you can like special summon another monster. It's quite good there. Photon Emperor, if you haven't already sent it and you can like bring it on the field and then tribute it either for a link or go into an XYZ and somehow get rid of it by detaching, maybe for full armor. Or you can even special summon Galaxy Soldier, which can get you an ad. Besides that, the other cards that I didn't really mention in the deck are Photon Vanisher, which can only be summoned if you control Photon or Galaxy on your field. You special summon it, and when it's special summoned, you get an ad of Photon Dragon. Vanisher isn't really good for the ad effect. In fact, the ad effect isn't useful. You just get the ad so that you can have material in your hand for, let's say, a discard for Galaxy Soldier, a banish for Draco Utopian Air, or another discard for Soul Flare. It's just in your hand so it can be used as a cost. Cost being when you need to do something, but you need to give something up. That's what you're giving up, the Photon Dragon. Besides that, the effect to add the Photon Dragon isn't really useful. You bring it out because it's a level 4 that can be special summoned. There's also Galaxy Cleric. Really high level builds run this card. I don't really like this card. In fact, I take it out of high level builds, but I'm running it in the 3 structure decks just because you need to utilize as many cards that are in the structure deck that are viable. This card, the best effect in my opinion, is when it's normal or special, target 5 Photon or Galaxy cards in your graveyard, shuffle them into your deck, draw 2 cards. I mean, it's not that bad. It's really easy to get cards in your graveyard when you have like an equipped spell that just searches. You have a girl who tributes herself, you want this card in your graveyard, you have this guy who discards from your hand. It's very easy. My favorite card in the deck, which I'm only running 1 copy of, is Galaxy Summoner. This card, when it's normal or special, you can just special a Photon or Galaxy from your graveyard, regardless of level. You can even bring out, I mean, some of the XYZs if you wanted to. I really like this card a lot because your targets can include Soldier, your targets can include, usually what I do is Photon Jumper. You go into a rank 4. It can also change the level of whatever you like brought out, as long as it has a level. It really extends the plays, which I love. Another one is Galaxy Knight. I don't really like this card. Only in the cheaper builds am I using it. It's if you control Photon or Galaxy, you can normal summon it without tributing. Normally level 8s need 2 tributes. This guy can normal summon himself without tributing at all, as long as you control the Photon or Galaxy. When it's summoned, you can target specifically a Galaxy Eyes Photon in your graveyard, not the other ones. That's why I'm only running 1 of it, and I cut it out in later builds because it's just like, it has a really specific target, this guy. And if you don't have that guy in your graveyard, this guy's kind of useless. Another card that I don't really like that much is Galaxy Brave. Main reason is that it's not really good if it's the only starting monster in your hand. It's only good if you have another card in your hand that's specifically a Photon. Can't be a Galaxy. It has to be a Photon. But there's plenty of Photons, so should work out. It special summoned itself from the hand. It's a level 8. It allows you to go into rank 8 plays a little bit easier. Besides that, the extra deck is Star Liege Photon Blast Dragon. This one protects all your monsters with 2000 or more attack from being targeted or destroyed. That's really good, as you'll see in some of the replays, because it just protects the board entirely from the opponent from interacting with you at times. Besides that, this is my favorite one, Galaxy Photon Dragon. It's a rank 4. It makes all your light monsters stronger. The best part in tandem with Galaxy and Star Liege is that Star Liege doesn't protect itself initially because it has too low attack to protect itself from its own effect. But if you summon out a Galaxy Photon along with the Star Liege suddenly gets to 2300 attack, which means that it's protected from card effects or targeting. But I mean, that's not the reason I like it. The reason I like it is detach, add a Photon or Galaxy. So you have even more searchability. And then if a light is special summon, you can change its level to 8 or 4. Which does come up because, I mean, it allows you to go into rank 8s a lot more easier. The rank 8 package in the 3 structure decks isn't as good as I would want it to be. It's 3 copies of Galaxy Prime Photon. Doesn't really have a useful on-field effect. You mainly just summon it out just so you can use it as material to overlay onto full armor Photon, which has a better effect. The main best effect is you can detach one material from this card, target 1 card your opponent controls, and destroy it. I really like that effect. In fact, it's pretty good because you can overlay another card on top of it, but I'll talk about that a little bit later. And the final card is Galaxy Eye Soul Flare. This card, when it's link summoned using 2 light monsters with 2000 or more attack, main reason I'm running triple Photon Sanctuary, so you can just cheese this card out really easy. It lets you add a Photon or Galaxy monster from your graveyard to your hand. The one I usually like adding the most is Photon Jumper, because it makes me feel protected just in case the opponent can get past my monsters and they try to attack me. I can just say, no, you're not going to end me this turn. I'm going to summon this out, end the battle phase. Only downside is that you can't attack during the next turn, so you have to figure out ways to destroy their board, get rid of all the advantage they have without attacking. Alright, replay number 1, I have 2 monster effect negates in the form of this trap card. I'm going to activate Photon Sanctuary right away, and I was just going to make a link monster, or like it gives me more monsters on the field to be able to play the game. Opponent chains Max C, which says every time I special summon they draw one. I'm not going to take the Max C challenge, so I'm not going to let my opponent draw a bunch of cards. I'm just going to try to survive with this. Now, that's not super impressive. I have, well, 2 negates, but I can only activate 1 per turn. So technically, I only have 1 negate. So let's see how far 1 negate gets me. I'm going to try to negate Uni-Zombie, which sends a zombie from the deck to the graveyard. They have a zombie in their hand that protects it from being destroyed by battle or card effect. Pretty good. And it special summons itself out. They are then going to go into this link monster, which lets them send a zombie from their deck to the graveyard if they battle. Luckily, they're not going to get to battle because Photon Jumper says, hey, you're attacking me, no attacks, end the battle phase. Only downside is that now I can't attack during my turn right now. I'm going to go into the link monster, which lets me add a monster from my graveyard to my hand. Also, Photon Jumper allows me to grab a card from my deck to my hand. That's a spell or trap, which is very nice. I'm going to add back the Photon Orbital. Activate the spell card, which lets me send a monster from my deck to the graveyard. Sending the Emperor. Emperor activates because I control Galaxy and I have one in my graveyard. Either or. And now I can just go full combo. Special summon the Afterglow. And they're going to activate Torrential Tribute, which destroys all monsters on the field. Their monster is not destroyed though because of that zombie that protects it from being destroyed by battle or card effect. So I'm like, well, you know, that kind of sucks. Let's see what I can do. Go into Galaxy Photon Dragon by making the level 8 monster a level 4, and when that card, Afterglow, is detached, I can special summon Galaxy Photon Dragon from the deck. Now for a structure deck, this is quite good. It honestly felt like I was playing Solitaire, and I was quite impressed because I didn't expect that with 0 crafts from a structure deck, but it is what it is. The spell card allows me to look in the opponent's extra deck and get rid of 1 card. It's very invasive and very powerful. If they had an XYZ, I could special summon it, and it does come up where they do have XYZs, and I do special summon it. I'm going to equip Photon Orbital to my Photon Dragon. Already activated the search effect on my turn, so I'm just equipping it because the equip spell gives it 500 attack and makes it so it can't be destroyed by battle. And it's not super impressive, but the opponent actually forgot about that it can't be destroyed by battle and they attack it. So they kind of just wasted a turn. They could have got rid of the Photon Dragon there. Glad they didn't. I top deck Photon Stream of Destruction, banish 1 card on the field. They're going to chain the effect so that they can special summon from the graveyard. And I'm going to chain Draco Utopian Aura, excuse me. They're going to chain the one that like banishes itself if your zombie would be destroyed. It's going to special summon itself when it's banished. I have 2 monsters on the field, no negates, no disrupts. I'm free to play. I'm going to add the Galaxy Trance from my deck to my hand, target the Jumper, special summon a level 4 for my deck, the Galaxy or the Photon from my graveyard, go into a rank 8 because I use Photon's effect to make one of them a level 8. And Prime Material Dragon isn't like the best thing here, but it's not the worst either. I'm going to go into full armor Photon, which allows me to destroy 1 face-up card on the field. Going to destroy that big guy, Al Ghul Mazera. Summon the Galaxy Knight, special summon the Photon back. I have 2 other level 8s. Plus I got the spell card effect again, so I can banish another card from your extra deck. And I'm going to end on that. 2 4,500 monsters and attack per game. Later zombie structure deck. So 3 copies of the structure deck is good, but what if you introduce another structure deck, specifically Rage of Cipher? Only 1 copy, 500 gems, total price of this deck is 2,000 gems, and it's guaranteed cards, you're not opening random packs. The cards that are newly added are Honest, which is if a light monster attacks, discard this card from your hand, and makes your monster gain the attack of the opponent's monster, so your monster can pretty much virtually get over any monster in the entire game as long as you have an Honest in your hand. And the other monster can't be destroyed by battle. Besides that, another card I added, which I think is kind of fun, is Swordsman of Revealing Light. It's kind of like a Photon Jumper Battle Trap. If your opponent declares a direct attack, you special summon this card. If their attack is less than 2,400, you destroy their monster. It also has an XYZ effect if you use it as material, that the XYZ can't be destroyed by battle once per turn, which is, it's okay. It's pretty cool. It's a rank 8. It kind of works. Deck's a little bit better, I would say, in my opinion. The main reason it's better is because of the cards added from the structure deck in the extra deck, which is Galaxy Eyes Cipher Dragon. Allows you to take control of an opponent's monster. Downside, you can't attack your opponent directly for the rest of the turn. Then you can overlay using that card into Galaxy Cipher Blade Dragon. In fact, you can make this using any Galaxy Eyes XYZ. It's detach material, destroy a card on the field, and if it's destroyed itself, special summon a Cipher Dragon from your graveyard. Or if you don't want to pop a card, you can make Galaxy Cipher X Dragon. The main part is detach 2 materials, and all your light monsters cannot be targeted until the end of your opponent's turn. That's 2 turns total, your turn currently and the one your opponent's gonna have. I like this deck a little bit more just because it has more answers for cards in the extra deck, which gives a little bit more versatility. I like to think the extra deck as a toolbox. So if you have a problem, you can make something in your extra deck that can solve that problem. It's kind of like a puzzle, and you have all the key pieces. You have a little bit more pieces, not everything now. So first things first, I'm gonna normal summon, then special summon because I control a Photon. Go into a rank 4. Rank 4 is going to detach to add a Galaxy 100, and then the card that's detached when it's sent to the graveyard, I can add another card. Now I'm able to send Emperor using the spell card, special summon it out. Emperor gives me another normal summon, then use Expedition in hand to special summon a level 8 directly from the deck. This isn't bad at all. I'm going to go into the new cards, Cipher Dragon. Now, they don't have a monster, so I'm not going to steal anything. And then I'm just going to immediately go into the X-Dragon, which makes all my monsters untargetable until the end of my opponent's turn. Go into Photon Dragon through the detach of Afterglow, and I can make Photon a level 4, which I think I actually do here. 100's going to allow me to look at the opponent's extra deck, and I actually steal a monster because it's a number, which is really freaking cool. I like that. I'm able to summon the monster in my hand, go into another rank 4, and essentially the reason I did that is because Star Leech has the effect where all my monsters with 2,000 or more attack, which is all of them, cannot be targeted or destroyed. And let me speed it up. We're going against Dark Magician. It's actually another structure deck, and I think they play this actually quite well until it becomes my turn. They're going to be summoning out Dark Magician. They're going to summon out Dark Magician Girl. They have a trap that allows them to search a Dark Magician card or special summon one. And they have a spell that's a quick play. Destroys all my cards on my field as long as they control Dark Magician Girl and Dark Magician. Quite strong. On my turn, I'm going to use Cipher's effect to bring out Galaxy Photon Dragon back out. The reason I do this is because Photon has the attack value increase. So it allows Star Leech to protect himself from card destruction, which they do. They destroy every card on my field, but then now my monsters with 2,000 or more attack can't be destroyed, so... And it can't be targeted either. So they're going to summon out SP Little Knight, try to target my cards. They can't. They're going to activate the other effect to try to banish my cards. They can't. They ended up scooping, you know. It was just too much. Next up is 4 copies of the structure deck with the bundle cards. The bundle cards are in the shop. They're 750 gems each. The ones I included in this build are Effect Veiler. It can negate a monster effect. Ash Blossom can negate a card effect that includes adding or special summoning from the deck. I also added Nibiru, which if your opponent special summons 5 or more monsters, which happens in very competitive Yu-Gi-Oh, you can just tribute all monsters on the field, special summon this card out. Triple Tactics Talent, if your opponent activates a monster effect on your turn, whether it be Maxi, Ash Blossom, Hand Traps, maybe those are like the main things, you can either draw 2 cards, take control of one card your opponent controls, or look at your opponent's hand. Lightning Storm, main reason I'm running this over a card like Raigeki is because it can destroy all spell and traps the opponent controls, and I really do like having spell and trap removal in the deck. Downside is that you cannot control any face-up spell or traps. There is actually spell or traps that are face-up in this deck like Galaxy 100 that you want to see, so this card might not always be live. Besides that, Forbidden Droplet, which can negate monster effects on the field. It's very nice, I do like it a lot. And Infinite Imperm, which is way better because you can activate it directly from your hand, which can negate monster effects on the field. Solemn Judgment was a last minute decision I put in just because it does negate, and I do like having the additional disrupt in the deck. Besides that, everything else is the exact same. except for this one card in the extra deck. This was given as a gift from Konami. So if you're watching this video 3 months down the line and you don't have this card and it's not given to you for free, well then that's why I didn't include it in the more budget builds. But essentially this card can just be overlaid on top of Prime Photon, which is this guy right here, and it can attack 3 times. And if it has a Galaxy Photon Dragon as material, it's unaffected by opponent's monster effects, and it gets really, really big. I really like this card. It allows you to go for game, and it's a really good addition in the extra deck just because it gives you that option. If your opponent leaves monsters and face up attack, oh no, they messed up because you're going to end them. Alright, opening hand is 2 of the bundle cards, and the rest is just from the Galaxy structure deck. We're playing against the new Vaalmonica strategy that just came out recently. This is a pendulum strategy with a very adorable looking girl who allows you to add spell cards, which you pay or gain life points, and then you get effects based off of that. So they're going to be adding a card to their hand. They get counters on their pendulum scale whenever they gain or pay life points. The main thing you should realize if you're playing against this deck is that once they get 3 counters, their deck works. Their field spell can steal your monsters. Their spell cards, I think, have more effects, and they have link monsters that can do a lot of things once you have 3 counters. So luckily they don't have 3 counters, so I don't have to worry too much. I'm just free to play, unless they have hand traps. I'm gonna do Galaxy Wizard, and I think they actually dropped the Max C. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm not gonna special summon because you dropped Max C. I'm not giving you any cards. You draw your 1 card. Let's see if you can beat me in 1 turn. Solemn Judgment, their spell card, because I don't want them to get the 3rd counter. I'm hoping they don't have another card in their hand that could potentially get them a spell card. They're going to activate Vaalmonica's effect to add a spell card. I'm going to negate it because, you know, I don't want them to do that. And then they have double DD Crow. Maybe they did that because they wanted to show me that they had bad hand, because they targeted the same card with the same DD Crow. I'm not entirely sure about that. Regardless, I didn't activate the Photon Jumper when they attacked, just because I want to attack on my turn. I think I have game, so I'm going to try to win the duel in 1 turn. Galaxy Soldier, special summon, get the add. Photon Jumper, when sent to the graveyard, get the add. I get an add of a spell and an add of a monster. Galaxy Summoner, when it's normal summoned, I can special summon a monster from my graveyard. Go into the rank 8, overlay again into Photon Dragon, pop a card, and then Afterglow is going to special summon. I'm going to get the spell effect. I was actually going to XYZ again into the other one. I can pop another card, and yeah, I still had a normal summon, so you know, I had game. Now the deck is what I would call good in the sense that you're able to like establish a board and you're able to deal with opponent's threats, but it's not meta, meaning right now I'm playing against one of the best decks in the entire game, and I'll just speed it up because I don't want to go over their combos. I actually really don't like this deck. A lot of pro players at the moment don't like this deck because it's just kind of boring. It's really good. It's kind of the same combos. Regardless, this is a newer deck. It's Fire Kings, Fire King Snake Eye, and it's not bad at all. Their end board doesn't really seem like much, right? It's just 3 level 8 monsters. They have a equip spell, or excuse me, a continuous spell, like whatever. I'm going to play my Galaxy 100. I'm going to get my Search of Hyper Galaxy. Going to activate Trance to try to special summon 2 monsters. Max C. Well, that sucks. Okay. Well, I'm going to lose if I don't play the game, so I have to play the game. Hyper Galaxy, tribute my monster, try to tribute theirs. Ash Blossom, negate it. Okay, well, that sucks. You know, they're going to continue their plays, their Fire Kings, destroy my card on the field. They're going to get some searches off. And they're going to destroy their XYZ because when it's destroyed, you can just special summon monsters from your graveyard. Now, they're going to destroy a card from their deck to be able to special summon another card. I'm going to summon Galaxy Summoner to try to keep my combos going. They're going to negate it. Effect Veiler. Okay, you know, whatever. Who cares? Galaxy Photon Dragon. They're going to destroy it before I can activate the effect. Okay, this is last ditch effort. Photon Sanctuary, bring out the Link monster. They're getting cards in their hand. I don't care. I have to be able to survive this. Photon Jumper in hand. Maybe if they don't negate the monster effect, I can survive 1 more turn and come back. That's what I'm hoping for. Soul Flare is going to destroy the Link Karibo. And, I mean, they have 7 cards in their hand. They're going to pop off. I'm going to spoiler warning it right now. I don't win this. This is modern day meta Yu-Gi-Oh! If I'm not running hand traps like Maxi, if I'm not running Ash Blossom, if I'm not running Effect Veiler, I'm not going to be able to stop the opponent because they're going to be able to play their deck at full power and I'm not going to have any way to interact with them. GG. Which brings me to the final deck, which is 4 structure decks plus some of the bundle cards plus crafts. crafts, including 3 copies of Max C, so that you can play at a higher tier level in Yu-Gi-Oh! 3 copies of Ash Blossom to stop the opponent. What is else? Foolish Burial. I don't think this card's super necessary. It increases the consistency, meaning it makes some of your hands that would otherwise not work or be dead live. But I think Galaxy 100 does it way better than Foolish Burial, so it could be swapped out for another card. Besides that, I added Called by the Grave, which can negate Maxi, Ash Blossom. I don't really like this card either, but it is necessary when you're playing a higher level Yu-Gi-Oh! Just because you want to be able to stop your opponent from interacting with you, and you want to stop your opponent from playing the game themselves. Infinite Imperm is one of the best hand traps besides Maxi, because it can just negate monster effects multiple times per turn. In the extra deck, new crafts include Baguska, because it's a number monster, synergizes well with Numbers Last Hope. Also, it's just a good monster in general when it's in defense. All monster effects on the field are negated. Another craft is Hope Harbinger Dragon Titanic Galaxy. It acts as a spell negate. It can negate any spell card on the field. There's another craft, which is number 90, Galaxy Eyes Photon Lord. I think this is the most important craft in the entire deck. Whether you're thinking of what to craft in the main deck, extra deck, this is 1,000,000,000% the most important one, because it's specifically for the Photon and Galaxy Eyes deck. It acts as a monster effect negate, which is quite good, and if you detach a Galaxy, it destroys a monster as well. But it also just searches you a Photon or Galaxy during your opponent's turn. It's extremely good. I don't know why it wasn't included in the structure deck. It should have been. Another craft is Divine Arsenal A Zeus. This is one of the best XYZs in the entire game. Your XYZ battles, you can make this during your main phase 2, detach 2 materials, and then send every single card, including your own, from the field to the graveyard. I also like Salaman Great Almirage. The reason I like this is because sometimes you have a hand that's not very viable, where you have like a Photon Jumper, and that's about it. So you would summon Photon Jumper, you would make an Almirage, this card's sent to the graveyard, and you can get your search of a spell or trap from your deck, and hopefully keep your plays going. And 2 copies of Galaxy Eye Soulflare Dragon. Another card I will mention is Chaos Angel, which can be made in this deck using 2 Galaxy Soldiers. In some builds, I have tried this. It's very niche, it doesn't really come up all the time, but it is a playable card in this deck strategy. I would rather keep the 2 links, even though I never make the 2 links, rather than the Chaos Angel, but you can customize the deck however you want. Alright, starting out, you might notice a card that wasn't in the deck list. That's Crossout Designator. Main reason for that is I wanted to try it out because it was a very popular card in certain deck lists online, and I was like, hey, maybe it's a good card. It's only good if you're playing a meta decks, such as if I was playing like Snake Eye, Fire King, I would definitely run this card because I can negate my opponent's cards. But the chances of negating an opponent's card with this card is very low, since the opponent can be playing any deck ranging from like rogue strategies, random strategies, to top tier meta. I didn't really face a single mirror match at all during the time I played, and it was like 20 or 30 duels. I'm just doing my basic combos where I'm getting my searches. Vanisher is going to become a level 8. Main reason for that is so I can go into a rank 8, adding the Photon Galaxy just as material for a discard, bringing out the Photon Lord because it acts as a negate, also a search, which is nice, going to the Trance, which special summon to Jumper back, going to another rank 4, Star Leech protects all my monsters from being targeted or destroyed, special summon the Photon Dragon, and Galaxy 100, look at their extra deck banish. They're playing Snake Eye, I believe. So they're going to activate Raigeki. Normally that would destroy my monsters, Star Leech protects them. Raigeki does nothing. They're going to activate Bonfire, normal summoning Snake Eye Ash. I'm going to Infinite Impermit because it has a very powerful effect. They're going to go into Linkuriboh, and they're going to attempt to target my monsters. They can't target my monsters. They have to target their Linkuriboh, and they give up. Alright, this is going to be the final build of the deck. I'm going first, and as I was saying, I don't really have much options to go for, so Photon Jumper. Maybe I tribute it, get a search off. Luckily, Foolish Burial can save me a little bit. Galaxy Trance is going to special summon 2 monsters, rank level 4s on my field. Go into the rank 4. Photon's going to detach, so I can get the 100. 100's going to then send the Photon Emperor, which special summons itself, gives me 2 normal summons. I'm going to make it a level 4, summon the Photon from my hand, go into Star Leech, and end turn. Not the most impressive board. My monsters are protected from being targeted or destroyed. I also have a Called by the Grave, which is a negate, and Infinite Imperm. We're playing against Pendulums. So I could have Called by the Grave the Supreme King. I didn't. I chose not to because I wanted to see what would happen. The opponent is going to be doing their spell and trap interaction. They're going to summon the Joker, get a search off. They're playing the new stuff, which is really cool, which is why I wanted to show off the replay. I'm going to Ash Blossom negate the add from Beyond the Pendulum. Special Summon 4. They're still under Max C. They're going to destroy 2 cards I control. Since I can't destroy my monster, they have to destroy my spell or traps. Kind of sucks. I lose a Called by the Grave, but is it really going to matter? Probably not. They're going to Special Summon the Supreme King, which can do pierce damage on all the monsters. Use Photon Jumper's effect. Maybe I shouldn't have did that, but I wanted to protect my monsters, because now I can't attack during my turn. So I'm only going to be able to interact with them by stealing their monsters and popping cards they control. They're going to Special Summon a couple things, keep doing things, getting their searches off, and set the trap, which can destroy some cards, end on Appaloosa. One thing I don't really like about this replay is that Appaloosa has potentially 3 monster effect negates. I don't think they use it once. Now, I'm not entirely sure why. Maybe Starliege doesn't allow it because they can't target, but I don't even think Appaloosa targets in the first place. So, yeah, I mean, you can let me know why they're not using the effect. I have no idea. They're using their other effects, so. So, I'm going to go into Cipher Dragon. I'm going to attempt to steal their Link monster because it's a light. I can use it as material for the Photon one. They are gonna just add some stuff. I'm gonna go into Armor, which can destroy a face-up card on the field, which I'm gonna destroy the Appaloosa. Go into Cipher Blade, which can destroy another card on the field, destroy the trap, so they have less interaction. Galaxy Soulflare Dragon, using their Link monster. Afterglow back to hand, which I could just special summon. Go into another Rank Gate. Photon Lord, negates a monster, add during their turn. I'm gonna tribute 2 monsters just to make room on my field for Photon Dragon. Look at your extra deck and steal Baguska. Baguska just essentially just makes all monster effects and defense negated, which kind of does suck actually because it affects my monsters too. Now I don't really know why I did that. I thought it would be a good idea, but as you'll see, I don't think they really have an out. They're going to be special summoning their monsters, going to SP Little Knight. They're going to target the Starliege just because it is kind of annoying. They're going to dodge the Infinite Imperm, so they get rid of 2 of my cards, or I guess one of them, because one of them's coming back at the end phase. Special summon the Photon Emperor back just because it's sent to the graveyard. They're going to go into Absolute, and they scoop. They're under Maxi still, so Maxi's not a very fair card. This is going to be the final replay, and I only put this replay in here to show the power of hand traps. Now, I like Yu-Gi-Oh! In a traditional sense, that I like playing cards that aren't like really interactive with the opponent, or at least not this interactive, such as cards like Max C. But when you play at a higher level Yu-Gi-Oh! You should be running these cards. As you might have seen, Max C was 93% used in like every single deck. That's a very big, it's the most popular card in the entire game. The reason for that is, as you can see, I just keep drawing cards every time they special. Now, drawing cards isn't like really good unless the cards you draw are really good. As you can see right now, I'm drawing cards that don't really interact with the opponent during their turn. In fact, they might have a way to make me deck out. But I happen to draw a card which does, Ash Blossom, which I will use as soon as I can. If they attempt to activate a monster effect that says, hey, add or special something from the deck or send, negate it. So I'm going to negate the Scrapper Recycler. They're going to go into World C, which banishes all monsters on the field. I'm going to attempt to negate it. They're going to negate my negate using Therion. So they're going to be able to special summon everything back, reset their effects, activate both of these effects again if they want. And that's what they're doing. They're just special summoning a lot. I have 20 cards left in the deck. I'm kind of a little bit afraid. It seems like they kind of know what they're doing. They're going to go into Boral Savage Dragon, happen to draw the Infinite Imperm right there and negate that. Huge. Very, very huge. They ended up surrendering. Regardless, I hope you enjoyed this video. My name is Cushy Kush, and I hope you have a great day or night. Let me know what you think in the comments down below, and I'll catch you next time. Later.
Attention fellow gamers, no anime beyond this point.